The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. Leaders from Sulu supposedly hatched a secret plot to invade the Malaysian state of Sabah by militia. This according to a report from the South China Morning Post, citing a senior regional security source. SEMP reports that senior local government officials in Mindanao held a secret meeting on December 1 to discuss plans to send an armed militia to invade Sabah. 19 mayors from Sulu are allegedly planning to set up a Royal Sulu Army with a target of recruiting up to 600 men to invade the Malaysian state. The security source said this could take place next February, 9 years after a deadly incursion into Lahad Dati. Major General Romeo Bronner Jr. is assuming leadership of the Philippine Army today. He will be replacing outgoing Army Chief Andres Centino, who has been appointed as the AFP Chief of Staff last November 12th. For the latest updates, we have Patricia Mangune reporting on the line from Quezon City. Good morning, Pat. Could you tell us who is leading the change of command ceremony for Major General Bronner?
Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana is leading the change of command ceremony happening today at the Army headquarters here in Fort Bonifacio, Taguig. And we are expecting Secretary Lorenzana to honor Lieutenant General Centino for his outstanding tour of duty as the 64th Commanding General of the Philippine Army. And he is the outgoing Commanding General. And we also expect him to challenge the incoming Commanding General, Major General Bronner, to build up on the foundations laid by his predecessors. Charles?
All right, Pat, based on what we know, what will the incoming chief be focusing on as the new head of the Army?
So far, Charles, we initially got a few messages from Bronner and that he aims to focus on the health, morale, and welfare of the troops, as well as hone their skills and competencies. And this will be crucial in their mandate in their fight against insurgency and counterterrorism. Charles?
Right, Pat, we are seeing pictures here of a bunch of Army officials. Could you tell us a bit more about the new leader's experience, about Major General Bronner's experience as a member of the Army?
Yes, Charles, General Bronner last held the post of commander of the 4th Infantry Division based in Cagayan de Oro, and there he led the fight against insurgency, which included the recent neutralization of NPA's head of National Operations Command, George Caoris Madlos, in October. He was also appointed as Commandant of Cadets of the Philippine Military Academy in 2019 following the death of Cadet Darwin Dormitorio due to hazing. And he also served as Deputy Commander and spokesperson of Task Force Marawi during the Marawi siege in 2017. And General Bronner belongs to the PMA Makatao class of 1989, and we've already spotted some of his mistas or classmates here. Charles?
Thanks for that, Pat. That was Patricia Mangune reporting live from Quezon City. Vice President Leni Robredo says today's celebration of International Human Rights Day should remind Filipinos of, quote, our common humanity. The presidential aspirant notes that all humans, regardless of race, color, religion, or gender, are bound by a shared commitment to build a better and fairer world for all. She says this can be accomplished by relentlessly standing up for our rights and the rights of others. And she also calls for empathy and fellowship so that those who are marginalized should be empowered and included on the road to progress. Robredo also hopes that today's commemoration will also serve as a clear call to action. That is, for all humans to defend and uphold our rights, to speak truth in the face of oppression, and to fight inequality with compassion, inclusivity, and solidarity. According to a Japanese study, the Omicron variant is found to be 4 times more transmissible in its early stage than Delta. Bloomberg's Sam Fazeli tells us what this means for the world's efforts against the pandemic. Let's watch this.
Given what we know about Omicron so far, is it necessary that we return to that environment where we're all working from home?
Yeah, hi, good morning. Frankly, whether the data from Japan is exactly right or not, but the anecdotal information that we have with the pace with which this variant is spreading suggests that it's highly infectious. And part of that's likely to be the fact that it completely ignores the fact whether you are vaccinated or previously had an infection and can still infect you. So there's only one solution to stopping that, and that's by keeping people apart a bit more than you were doing before. Work from home is one way of doing that.
Sam, it seems that the science here isn't answering really our questions about the efficacy of vaccines. Yesterday, I saw a line saying that the loss of immune protection is robust but not complete. That's not really telling me a heck of a lot. And today, the WHO is saying there's no conclusive evidence that vaccines are not effective with Omicron. Well, you could say that about literally anything.
Yeah, Matt, people have to choose their phrases really carefully. If you're talking about the risk of severe disease and hospitalization, it is very likely, given what the data suggests, and remember, these are all lab data, they're not people data, that being vaccinated and even possibly previously infected, you do have a reasonable protection against severe disease rather than a cold or symptoms at home. But if we're talking about cases and people just catching the infection, I think the data is suggesting that that's likely going to be pretty low when it comes to Omicron.
In other news, the LTFRB has issued new guidelines for the passenger capacity of PUVs nationwide. This as the holiday rush has kicked in. Marian Enriquez with the details.
Roads are once again busy amid the easing of restrictions in Metro Manila, making rush hours very difficult for bus drivers like Philip. He often finds himself loading more passengers, exceeding the allowed 70% seating capacity.
Siyempre, bugsuan ng pasahero, kami ang inaaway rin ng pasahero pag di namin sinakay.
Philip and other bus drivers are appealing to the IATF to once again allow full capacity in public transportation.
Para 100% na po. Total, yung mga tao, mga empleyado, may mga vaccine na yan.
But the Interagency Council for Traffic still will not budge. They conducted an operation against overloading PUVs in C5 Taguig.
Wala kami magawa sir, lang. Ngayon nga lang kami makabawi sa biyahe sir. Hindi mo na patiketan, warning na lang muna.
A driver admitted that he is confused with the different guidelines per region.
Akala ko kasi sir, nasa 100% na tayo kasi nasa NGCQ ng Laguna eh. Kaya hindi po natin, may iba-iba kasi mga sinasabi ng mga hindi natin maintindihan.
In time for the holiday season, the LTFRB released new guidelines on passenger capacity for PUVs nationwide. Jeepneys, buses, and UV Express will be allowed to increase their seating capacity, but with one condition. Currently, the seating capacity in Metro Manila, Rizal, Bulacan, Laguna, and Cavite remains at 70%. For regions with 50% passenger capacity in PUVs, the LTFRB said passenger load may be raised to 70% if they have reached 30% vaccination rate. The LTFRB has also set rules on passenger capacity for inter-regional routes. PUVs going to Metro Manila should observe the allowed passenger capacity from their place of origin, while for those coming from NCR should follow the capacity of the trip's endpoint. Meanwhile, inter-regional routes that will not traverse Metro Manila should follow the lowest passenger capacity in the concerned regions. This will be implemented from December 9 to January 4, 2022. For News 5, Marian Enriquez, we are One News.
Here's a quick look at some of today's headlines. Petitioners against the anti-terror law expressed disappointment after the Supreme Court only declared 2 of its provisions unconstitutional. COVID-19 prevention, the Tokyo Olympics, and Squid Game are among the top Google searches in the country for 2021. But worldwide, SB19 joins the likes of BTS and Olivia Rodrigo as the top searches for globally trending songs. And PBA action continues at the Inaris Center in Pasig. Northport and NLEX will square off at 3 p.m. San Miguel will be playing against Alaska at 6 p.m. And those are the top stories at this hour. Join us later at 2 p.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Just register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime and anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.